Okay, well, today is the day where we're going to go to part 2 of the 62 MAS reissue teardown. We're actually going to rip the movement apart today, and then I'm going to service it, and we're going to put it back together, and we're going to see what the numbers hold. It's going to be very interesting. You know, I should have done this. I should have done this a long time ago, rather than hoping and guessing and wondering and theorizing, but never actually proving what I thought might have been the issue. I had some good results years ago when I would run into this problem. I had some decent results changing balances, and suiting it back to the A series, but I didn't get consistent results, and other people who tried my method also did not get consistent results. And so it was something that it was a half-baked idea that I thought was going to be a functional solution, because it did the job a couple of times for me, but you know, I never really knew what the actual problem was. So, you know, in the end, you know, the right thing to do is to just do the thing properly. So we're going to rip it apart, see how it goes. Okay, hang on. Okay, so we have the movement apart. I didn't see anything physically, like I didn't see any parts that were interfering with each other, but I did see a few things. Now, I don't know if these things are the issue of what's going on, but we are going to find out. But the thing that I noticed, there's a couple things. Let's see if I can get some light on here. Okay, so here's your stripped main plate. This is where the staff, the pinion and the staff of the balance would go. This is where the pallet fork pinion would go, and so on and so forth. Now, with pallet fork pinions, the way that I was taught is that you don't lubricate them, because it can cause all kinds of drag at these scales. But you'll notice there's a blob of lubricant right there. So they chose to lubricate this. Also, the plate, if you look at the lubricant, it's weird. Like this, there's a little bit of lubricant there, but it looks kind of dry. And like this is kind of gloppy and weird around the center wheel here. Sort of over lubricated around the lower mainspring arbor jewel, which is nice that it's jeweled. And then this is like the bottom end here, the third wheel, and it's just kind of gross. So let's see if I can look at this a little better for you. Let's see if I can find a way to do this. Let's try this. See if I can make this work. I don't know if I can, but I will try. Might not work. No, it's just shining through from the middle. So how about this? Why don't we try this? That might work better. Just the lubrication on these jewels is just kind of sloppy. Let me pull this back. And it looks like, if you look on the bottom of where the escape wheel goes, which is that jewel that's right in the middle right there, there's like this weird, like debris, like little black chunks of stuff. I don't know, it's funky. It's funky, and they lubricated the jewel's top and bottom for the pallet fork. So it's like, I mean, this is the pallet cock right here. Well, pallet bridge, and this too, you can't really tell because it's hard to get a focus on this, but that too has a big blob of lubrication right in the middle. So right now, to me, it looks to me like it was both over lubricated and sort of poorly lubricated. I don't know, we're gonna see. I mean, this big old blob of crap right there, I mean, it's just, and there's like literally little teeny tiny chunks here. It just doesn't look even, it doesn't look smooth. And for a brand new movement with no time on it, I'm not sure how I feel about that. So, but I don't know that that's the problem. Okay, I'm gonna put everything through the cleaner now, and we are going to, then we'll put it together and we'll see what we find, okay? Okay, so everything is now clean and it's mostly together. I have to be right on top of a movement when I'm assembling it, otherwise it does not go well, because I have to really get really close to it, and there's just no way that you'd really be able to see it. But these last few stages, I believe, should be fine for me to do. So the movement is back together. Everything is where it ought to be. I didn't see any physical problems. Like I said, I saw the dirty lubrication. I don't want to call it dirty, but it sure looked kind of funky. But the only thing I'm noticing now, so the pallet fork is not in place. No pallet fork, no pallet bridge, no balance, of course. So we can just hear the, sorry. Hold on just 1 second. Okay, there we go. We can just hear, you probably can't hear it, but the train, when I spin up the train, one of the things I hear is it sounds kind of jangly. It's supposed to sound really smooth. It's supposed to sound really smooth, and this sounds kind of, I don't know, kind of whiny. So it sounds like there's friction going on there. I don't know that that's the case. I'm used to other watch movements that when they're fully clean and together, when you spin them up, they sound really just silky smooth. And I'm not getting that here right now. But, okay, so here's what we got to do. So now we're going to drop in the pallet fork. The pallet fork needs Mobius 9415. So I got to do a little bit of that old Mobius 9415 action. And different people say different things about different stuff, and this is how I was taught. This is what I'm going to do. A little bit. Theory. Some people say just the escape wheel. The escape stone, exit stone. I tend to do both. No actual lubrication gets applied to the escape wheel itself, only the pallet fork. And then as the machine runs in, you get that nice lubrication. Now, one of the things I am doing is I am not, using the right tweezers, I am not lubricating the pivots of the pallet fork. I know clearly that Seiko believed in that, and that's what, darn it, and that's what Seiko did. But I'm not going to do that. Because the thing about lubrication on the pallet fork pivots is that it can kill amplitude. Lubrication at those scales can act not like lubrication, making things go more smoothly. It can act like a dampening grease. And then you get a situation where it sucks up the amplitude, sucks up the power. And that's not what we want to do. Okay, hang on. Okay, cool. Let's check this out here. Okay, dropping this bridge on now. Squeak, squeak, squeak. So I haven't done, you're seeing the end. We're going to find out together if this was worth my time to do. I don't honestly know the answer. Because I don't have the winding bridge on, the manual hand winding doesn't work, so I'm going to force wind it, which is what we always do. Okay. And just, let's see if we're flicking. Yep, boop, there she blows. Okay, so let's change out here. I like ones that are, a little more grippy. So let's do this. I'm trying to do this sideways so you guys can see what in the heck I'm doing. So we're gonna drop this in here this way, spin it. Drop it in, drop it in. Come on. So it was interesting, this movement, you know, This is the first 6R15 4R15 that I have taken apart. So, I mean, obviously I've taken apart a lot of its earlier brothers, you know, the earlier 7S series, and this really isn't, darn it. See, I'm trying to look underneath this, and it's just not functioning for me. Hang on just one second. I'm supposed to drop that in there, do it a different way. Anyway, but I noticed that the differences really are pretty minor. You've got the diafix settings in the train bridge, which is normal, and no diafix settings in the main plate, which is normal. The differences are the hand winding and the hacking and the Sprawn mainspring. That's really the, and there she blows. Okay, let's get a screw in there. And then we're gonna take it up and we're gonna see. Now I haven't done anything. You saw the numbers the last time I did it. So I'm gonna drop this on and we are gonna see what in the heck is going on. But clearly I did something right because the movement is running. That's nice, isn't it? Okay, so there she blows. There she's running. Okay, so let's go and put her in the thing. Okay, so let's look. Okay, so there's the movement now. I have no idea what we're gonna find. I have no idea what the numbers are gonna say. None. Could be that I'm a failure. Could be that this was the cure. Let's find out together. Looks like it's having a little bit of trouble reading it, probably because of that, the fact that I'm using this really old school. Hang on, I want to switch out the movement holder that it's in, because this is an old school movement holder, which is a little more secure, which I like, but it makes it harder for my machine to hear. So hold on just a moment for me. Thank you for your wonderfully indulgent patience. Okay, let's try that again. So, oops, sorry. There's that. We're going to find out together. Well, it already looks bad. Oh boy, look at that. So this is just running in. So like the lubricant on the pallet fork is busy spreading itself around the teeth of the escape wheel. And the pivots should all be pretty well oiled, though I haven't moved the calendar around a whole lot. But I would say clearly we are improved. Yeah, the numbers are rising, and it's a little tighter. Numbers are rising. Ooh, numbers are rising. I'll feel better. If this thing hits 270, 275, I will be much happier. It's definitely running. Now, if this truly is the cure, then I owe the world an apology. I thought of a year and more ago, a couple of years ago, I thought I had a cure, that it was down to the balance. But I did get good results sometimes changing the balance back to an A, but not all the time. And so I stopped promoting that because it wasn't proven. It was a theory that was not proven. So we're going to see if this does the job. I'm just waiting for the next bump up. We're just watching the numbers settle in here. I know this is like watching paint dry, right? We'll tell you what, how about this? Why don't we let this sit and think, and we'll come back to it in a little bit, and we'll see how the numbers look once we give it some real time to settle in, okay? But I think we're already improved from where we were. Don't you agree? Okay, let's try that out. Okay, we've given it some time, about 45 minutes, I'd say. It's not real long to run it in. But you can see that we are, I mean, obviously this is better than it was. we're cruising now in the 270 range. I've seen 272 so far, and definitely could continue to come up. But this is good. It's much improved over what it was. And the nice thing is the amplitude is very steady, and the accuracy is also steady. I haven't adjusted it or done anything yet. But these are respectable numbers, and they're improving. So I think the next stage then, we will go and I will assemble. I'm going to continue to test, and I will assemble the watch and adjust it, and then we'll see how the numbers are at that point. Okay, so let's break and talk a little bit more. Well, so far I'd say that that's a pretty good experiment. I want to see again. I'll finish assembling it, continue looking at how the numbers are doing, and see how it does. I'm going to adjust it. I want to get it completely together with the automatic winding assembly done, and get it rolling in its case, and then see how the numbers behave. But so far, it's definitely improved. So I had been kind of starting to wonder for some time if lubrication wasn't the issue. I was some time ago, I was trying to do some more research on this, and I came across a thread on the National Association of Watch and Clock Collectors website, their forum, and there was a CMW 21 on there, and he said, well, I've noticed recently that Seiko seems to be over lubricating their stuff, and I'm like, that certainly could cause problems. So what then I suspected, I mean, what he said turned out to be the case. I mean, the pivots for the pallet fork being lubricated, I mean, obviously that's some kind of a Seiko process, but I've never done that, and it's rare to do it. Typically, you lubricate the pivots of the pallet fork if you are having problems with overbanking, which is that there's so much power going through the train that the and the pallet fork is flicking the balance so badly that it's turning too far. It's also called knocking. But it's kind of a rare thing to run that into. I only ever really see that on Bellmatics, and not even all the time. So I service this one like I would service any other movement, using the same lubricants that I would use, and so far it's okay. So the next one, we're going to go and we'll assemble and put it together and let it run in, get maybe some wrist time on it, and see how it behaves. But so far, I think, so far so good. We saw dirty lubricant, we saw too much lubricant, we saw, I don't know, it just looked funky. Okay, so thanks for watching. Let's go for chapter 3 once this is done running in, and we'll see how it goes. Thank you.